Zoe Balestrieri, my long Italian last name, and I just received my 2 boxes that I get every month directly from the Czech Republic. This is the second one. It's called Bohem style. I've already done a video on the first one, which is called Czech Beads Exclusive. And sometimes the 2 boxes have similar color palettes, and so you'll see why I'm mentioning that, because when I do my project today, I'm going to use some of the things that I had left over from the other box that I get from them. So in the description box under this video, I will link Bohem style, and I will link the Czech Beads Exclusive box. And I have to say something. I was very, very inspired by the curation of this box. And let me tell you the difference between the 2 boxes. The other box is just a curated like Czech glass bead sampler, but this box, the Bohem style, it comes like this in this adorable little window box, and it is 2 projects every month, at least 2 projects. Sometimes there are bonuses, but 2 full projects. And on your insert, you can see the little thumbnail. If they upload the video tutorial, I will put some pictures up when I edit this video. I'm a little bit early in my filming, so it's not ready on YouTube yet. But when you subscribe to the box, you get a code that takes you directly to a full video tutorial on how to make these 2 pieces, a bracelet and a necklace. And it is so sweet. I absolutely love it this month. And what was so inspiring for me is that when I saw this, I kind of realized that I have never done like an all yellow piece, and I just love that idea, especially this time of the year, you know. And it was one of my mother's favorite colors. She loved yellow, and she also loved like butterflies and like nature. So maybe I'm thinking of her as well. But look how cute this is. I put all the little bugs in the middle of my dish. There's this gorgeous gold washed bumblebee. He is 2-sided, and there is a plethora of butterflies in this box, and this was the most inspiring. I have seen this table cut butterfly bead before, but this color, I don't have it, and I just love it. And I'm going to keep him in my hand because there was also another little butterfly metal bead, and even smaller ones, 2 of these gorgeous little guys, and their hole goes right up the middle. And then there were 2 butterfly charms, and they are also 2-sided, but not what you think. On this side, whoops, come back, little guy. Let me get my fingers out of the way. On this side, it says created for you. So these are just beautiful. I mean, how inspiring is that? And then we got some 8mm. Let me grab a piece of wire so I can get my fingers out of the way. We got some 8mm Czech glass melon beads that are fluted, and the fluting, you can see that it's washed with silver. It just rests in all those grooves. We got some 4mm Picasso wash spacer beads. These are smooth, round, druck beads. And this is really cool. This is the Permalac finish on a 3mm Czech glass bead, and we had some of these in their other box that they do, the Czech Beads Exclusive. We had some of these that I had left over, and this let me take them out because a little bit larger bead, you can see this is a premium finish on Czech glass, and look how it changes the glass. It's so cool. I'm going to pause here and show you what I am going to do with these beads. I think I might I don't even know, honestly, if I'm going to use them in my project, but I love it when, you know, I can pull things that were left over from my other box. So I have these acrylic markers. I have gold. I think they do come in silver, but I have gold. And I know this is going to be really close to the camera. You have to store your acrylic markers in a horizontal position. You can't put them vertically like in a pin holder. But I have also this set of, let me open the lid and come back in frame. I have also this set with all these colors, and I can link this below. But if you get a bead that's got a matte finish, if you get a bead that you just want to personalize it, you can actually write a person's name. This one's too small, but you can write on Czech glass pearls. You can put polka dots, you can put stripes, you can put an initial, and I just love these. So I'm going to do this funny little thing. I have a piece of ticky tack that you use for leveling pictures when you're hanging them on the wall, and a piece of wire, and I'm going to push my bead. You can also do this once you have wire wrapped and your bead is stable, but I am not going to be wire wrapping. I already know what my project is. I don't do the 2 projects usually that you have all the beads for in this box. You certainly can, but I really like doing my own thing, and I like personalizing the bead boxes that I get. So this particular pin has a fat end and a skinny end, and I'm going to use the skinny end, and I'm just going to do a little stripe in the fluting, just like that. And if one of your stripes, needs a little bit more paint, you can just go back over it. But it's really cute, and you can use this end or the other end of this pin to do polka dots. And I also love these pens for edging seashells if I want to put a metallic edge on like any natural element. But in the summertime when I'm making seashell jewelry, that's what I use it for, and it dries pretty quickly. I'm going to set it aside so I have a bead ready for when I start my project. So let me get back to showing you what's in the box. And as I said, you can totally do the 2 projects if you're a person that you just like the handiwork and you like to make jewelry, but you don't want to curate your own supplies or work out your patterns. This box is perfect for you. But if you're like me and you've been making jewelry for decades and you just love good high quality beads and you want to do your own thing, this box is also perfect for you. So I really love getting it. But here's that Permalux finish in this small spacer bead. And this is gorgeous. This is a 6mm faceted check glass round in yellow with a Picasso wash. And I just love it. I love it with the butterfly. I can't put this butterfly down. I don't know, there's just something about this bead that just speaks to me. I love it. I just love it. And then there's these beautiful honey colored, they really do look the color of honey in a jar, little 4mm check glass faceted rounds. And I love these. I'm going to be using these in my project. These are little top drilled teardrop beads, and they are like half green crystal, half opaque, and they have the Picasso wash right on top. So there's a lot of variation in the glass in each bead, and they are just so pretty, and I love stringing them like that. I just think they're so pretty, stringing them where the tips go together. And then there is a 4mm check glass faceted round in this beautiful green, and it looks like this also has a Picasso wash on it. And then aren't these stunning? There are 4 of these in the box. And again, it's that really varied glass. The finishes they're just really varied. The greens and honey golds, and then the wash on top. Just a beautiful little 8mm bead. And there is more fluted melon beads in this box. Look how gorgeous this one is. So pretty. And these neutrals just look great with the yellow. We got some check glass top drilled leaves. Never have too many of those. And they are half crystal and half, it looks like maybe bronze washed. A little hard for me to tell the metallic on that. And then this bead I love. I've already shown you this, but I'm back around to the beginning. So this is what's in the box, and I am going to be doing a bracelet today. Like I said, you can totally do the 2 projects that this box is designed for. And before I move on to mine, you do get everything that you need. You get the extender chain, wire guardians, the jump rings, the crimp beads. It's all organized for you. If they have like I think in the projects, this is a focal bead. You get the ball head pin that you need, the stringing wire, lobster clasp. You get everything that you need to do the 2 projects. All you need is your tools. It is really, really wonderful, especially if you're newer to jewelry making and you just need to make things and practice stringing and crimping and turning your loops. And they do always in these boxes, as far as I have been getting it, They do put the crimp beads for crimping, so it's the easiest method of crimping because you simply put that on your wire and flatten it with your pliers, and anybody can do it. So you don't have to struggle with the magical crimping plier or the fold over crimp method or putting a crimp cover on. So it really is great if you're newer to jewelry making. After you do a few projects, you just get like some muscle memory with your tools, and you may do like I do now and branch out on your own. But I am going to pull in some seed beads that are gold. I'm going to be mixing gold and silver in this project because these yellows look very golden to me, but they did give us these beautiful butterflies in silver, and gold and silver is a big trend for 2025, mixing them in a piece. And then I just happen to have some little butterflies that are really unusual. I have had these forever. I'm going to just take a couple of them out. They have a hole right in the middle, not up through the body like you would expect. So I don't know if I'll use them, but I do like to go kind of pull things from my own supplies and personalize my bead boxes. And then, as I said, the other box that I get, the Czech Beads exclusive, I had these beads left over and they coordinate beautifully. They don't always coordinate, the two boxes, but you know, they're seasonal. I mean, they do whatever is current for the season. So a lot of times they do coordinate them. And you know what, I'm making a mess here. Let me bring in my little dish and gather these up in my dish. So I have a gold-plated lobster claw here, and I have a piece of oval memory wire. I'll show you what I did for cutting it if you are not familiar with memory wire. And I'm going to do a little something unusual on my memory wire bracelet that I don't normally do, just to shake things up a little bit. Put these guys in here, and I also have these bicone beads. They're like a rustic yellow that were left over from the other box, and this is way more beads than I will need because I am only doing a single loop of memory wire. And if you're not familiar with memory wire, please do not use your regular wire cutters on this because it is a stainless steel cable and you will destroy them. You put divots in your cutters, so you need special memory wire cutters to cut this. And what I did with this oval memory wire is I got the oval side and came right in the middle and cut it so that there is no overlap. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm going to turn my loop here on the end, and I want to make this a chain closure bracelet with an extender chain and a lobster claw clasp. So instead of it overlapping the way we do sometimes with memory wire or even having several coils, I want a single strand bracelet, and I want some space in here when I'm done. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is to feature this butterfly. I absolutely adore this little guy, and he just looks so great on the memory wire. So that's the plan on that. And then I also have my snub nose pliers, which are really good for memory wire because then you don't put stress turning your loops on your regular pliers. I want to bring in one more thing. I had these silver, kind of rustic Czech glass silver spacers left over from another box a few months ago, and since I want to mix gold and silver, I'm going to put a few of those in here. And this is the chain that I'm going to be using. I love my solid brass E-coated chain from Purity Beads. I always keep a good supply of it. So that's going to be my chain. I'm not going to cut it yet because I don't need too many links, and I'll just wait until I get everything strung. And I also want to do something else a little bit interesting with probably this bead on my memory wire. And I'm going to bring in some fine gauge wire. Let me open my box here. I'm going to be using my soft flex wire in 24 gauge. You get a little piece off of the spool. Okay, so I'm going to start stringing. I'm going to put a gold seed bead. Now, you could turn your loop on one end first, but I'm going to at least start out so I can work from both sides. I'm going to at least start out without turning that loop. After I get some beads on here, I will probably clamp it and turn my loop on one end. But I'm just going to play for a second with how I want to string. I did pause because I wanted to put some bead caps on this fluted bead, and I've just been alternating my yellows and golds and silvers, and I've clamped off this end, and I am going to go ahead and turn a loop on this end, and I'm going to be using the smaller of my two snub nose pliers. So let me turn it so that I'm wrapping around that, and I have just found that if I roll toward me, I do a better job with this. So I'm putting that wire in there so that you know, it's not protruding between the prongs of the plier, so that way when I make this loop, when I start rolling it back, I won't have a sharp end. And you can do just a single turn, you can do a double. I generally like to do a triple loop, and especially since I want to eat up a little space here, to make room for my chain that I'm going to attach in. You could even do more if you want. I'm just going to keep going until I have it just how I like it. And you can also turn this under if you want to. For me, I prefer it out because I don't like that pressing into my wrist. And a memory wire is, you know, not easy to work with. This one is not a really, when I mean not easy to work with, I don't mean it's not easy to work with. Not as easy as regular wire. If you're used to regular wire responding to your little adjustments, memory wire doesn't respond the same way. But you can make adjustments to it. And so I'm pretty happy with my loop. I'm gonna, let's see, let that drop down so that I have that little butterfly at the end here. And so that's going to put these pieces, it's going to put these pieces kind of at the top of the bracelet, if you can see what I did. Kind of, this guy is offset, and then I'm getting a little bit smaller down here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to do this funny thing. I'm going to move my clamp down here, and I'm going to come in with this small piece of wire that I cut, my Softflex 24 gauge wire. I love this because it's anti-tarnish. And I'm going to just scoot this bead down, and I am going to get a few wraps on here. Don't worry about it being perfect because you will be able to slide this into place before you continue on. I'm going to trim that. I'm going to be wrapping right on top of these wraps. I start out neat, but you really won't see these again. And I'm just going to use my nylon jaw pliers to push everything up so all my other beads, my other stringing is tight. And feed on my melon bead. And now I'm going to come down the side of the melon bead in one of the grooves, one of the fluted bits, and I'm going to go on top, behind, on top, behind, so it's starting out about the same as the other one, and finish on top. And then I'm going to go back down this opposite side, like just choose a spot right about there and go on top, behind, on top, and then come down behind the first wrap that I did. And same thing on top. Gonna get in between my other thumb and forefinger, really helps here. but I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, but it's really hard to hold an 8mm bead and show you the wraps. But I'm on top of my memory wire, and I'm coming from behind and back on top. I'm always finishing on top, and then I'm going to lay this beside my other wrap and just rotate. And same thing here, just going to go right on top of everything that I just did. Switch hands here and go behind and back around to the top and back down the side. And you know, you could do this with more space if you want more wraps than what I've done. I just tried to finish, I just tried to, you know, make it so that both sides are the same. So I need to get one more on this side. Top, down the side, and just get in there and wrap really tight next to my silver bead. And I'll finish off on the bottom. So I just put a little funky herringbone in my memory wire bracelet. And just tuck it so that it's not scratchy on my wrist. Just for a little extra, you know, just for like a little extra something. And that really tightens up my beads too on my stringing pattern. Oh, it's looking so good. So now I just have to finish off my stringing here, and I'm going to, since that was gold wire, switch to silver, and I'm just going to finish off a little pattern here. Okay, I am ready to turn my coil on this end. I'm going to do the same thing. Just get that in there and coil it toward me all the way down to my beads. Make those little adjustments. Oh, that looks perfect. Just going to kind of reshape my memory wire a little bit before I add in my chain. Okay, that looks great. Let me clean up a little bit here. I am going to add some charms, as you might have guessed, because of course we need charms. And I'm just going to take a few links. This is solid chain, so I'm careful when I cut it because I can't open any of the links. I have to lose a link. I don't actually lose a link because I save these as fancy jump rings. But I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 links. I'm gonna cut this 10th one. And what I do when I have a solid chain, whether it's the rope design or not, I just cut at an angle, not right at the tip, and then I just carefully open it, and I have a little box where I save these because that is a really heavy gauge fancy oval jump ring now, so I don't throw anything away. And from here I'm going to the same wire, I use 28 gauge wire to make my own jump rings. So I'm going to use some of my handmade jump rings. Use this, I think that is a 6mm if I remember right. I'm going to use 2 of them. Oh, I actually might need more for my charms, but I'm going to come to the side that has the this side only ended up with 2 coils when I coiled back. And you can measure, like in my experience, it takes almost an inch of length on your memory wire to do 3 coils. But since I knew I was going to be attaching my lobster claw clasp, I wasn't too worried about measuring that. And I'm going to open this and add my lobster clasp, add my chain to the other side. Oh, that is so pretty. I love the gold and silver. And so now I can play with doing these butterflies on head pins, and also one of these silver ball head pins, and play with adding these butterflies to my chain. So I can do this little yellow, these little yellow rondelles on the top or the bottom. Let me see how he. No, I think it has to go this way. Oh, that is so pretty. The little ball beneath him. So I'm going to do a simple loop by hand. I'm going to put a bend in my wire, and I do want a pretty good size loop, not super teeny, because sometimes I attach it straight to my chain. I may actually, they dangle a little bit better if you use a tiny jump ring, so I can even try it both ways. Just wrap that loop around my plier. It's a little difficult to get the wrap in there with the butterfly wings, but just roll my wrist down, just get that loop to be nice and neat and tight to the butterfly. Just roll it a little bit. Give it a pull so it's really a nice loop. And then I'm going to take my cutters and cut that wire right where it meets itself. Okay, so I have two little butterflies, and I do make my own jump rings, and I have made some really tiny ones, which is what I like. These are 3mm that I use my bail making plier to make. Let's see if I have another one. I do, and that's how I'm going to attach the butterflies to the chain, just so that they dangle really nicely. Open this tiny little jump ring, add my butterfly, and I can clasp this, anywhere that I want on the bracelet, but I think I'm going to come right about here with the first one and skip a couple links and then add the second one. Okay, I absolutely love this. This bracelet will have a direction that it needs to go on, at least for me, because I'd want to see the butterfly, facing this way. So I just changed my chain, because I like to lay my chain across my wrist, and that makes it really easy. I only have to hold on to my lobster claw clasp. It makes it easy to clasp a bracelet. But as everybody knows, you cannot clasp a bracelet when you are filming. If you've ever tried to film yourself, it's amazing. You could do this all day long when you're just by yourself, and when the camera's rolling, you cannot. Let's see, I'm going to give it a go. Oh, I got it. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. It's like a really delicate little cuff. I do have some adjustability here. I love the little butterfly garden at the back. It's a little bit busy with my stack of bracelets, but all the bead companies are feeling spring, because everybody's thinking dragonflies and butterflies and bumblebees, and I just love it. It's so sweet. But this is adorable. The little spacer beads that they added in the box were just wonderful. And so I will put links in the description box, put up a little close-up video of my finished piece at the end. And I thank you all so much for watching. I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, friends.